Om. Om. Om.
ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः प्रज्ञानाशुप्रतानैः स्थिरचरनिकर व्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्थविष्ठान् पुनरपि धिषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नः माया सङ्ख्यातुरीयं परममृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि यो विश्वात्मा विधिज विषयान् प्राश्य भोगान् स्थविष्ठान् पश्चाच्चान्यान् स्वमति विभवान् ज्योतिषा स्वेन सूक्ष्मान् सर्वानेतान् पुनरपि शनैः स्वात्मनि स्थापयित्वा हित्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ् हित्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् विगतगुणगणः पात्वसौ नस्तुरीयः
Mandukya Karika, chapter 3, Karika 10. Read.
संघाता स्वप्नवत् सर्वे आत्ममाया विसर्जिताः आधिक्ये सर्वसाम्येव नोपपत्तिर्हि विद्यते
Pot spaces appear to be different on account of different types of pots, but space is one and the same. Similarly, Atma in different upadhis as Jiva may appear different from one another. Yet the Chaitanya Swarupa Atma in and through all upadhis, maybe from beginning from Hiranyagarbha up to any insignificant creature, is one and the same. In this context, some doubt was raised like this. You cannot say that Atma doesn't have real Veda. You Vedanti, you are claiming a Mithya Veda because of Upadhi, because these differences are on account of avidya, that is what you argue. But it is not so, because the Upadhis themselves are different from one another. Not only that, Upadhis of the Jivas are real. And when the Upadhis are real, the Upahita, whatever that is conditioned, limited by them, also must differ really only, not falsely. One thing. Other thing, look, in these Upadhis, there is a gradation high and low. Devata upadhis are higher, exalted in nature, whereas ordinary upadhis like insect, worm, etc. are lower in nature. When such degree of exaltedness and insignificant nature, such differences are there, how can you say that it is mithya Veda, false Veda, real Veda? Or you can take this way. All upadhis, whether it is a Devata upadhi or any insignificant upadhis, are made up of Panchamahabhutas. When they are made up of Panchamahabhutas, one and the same constituent, they are real in nature. And because they are real in nature, the Jiva also must be, the Veda of Jiva must also be real in nature. This is what the argument of the Purvapaksha was. To which the answer was given. Look, these upadhis are not real. Because like the bodies in the dream, or the bodies created by the magician, they are no better than false in nature. So you cannot claim that Upadhi Bheda is real and therefore Jiva Bheda is real. You cannot say. Number two, high and low, exalted and ordinary embodiments. There is no such rule that only because such differences are there, it should be real. In dream, such differences are found. And yet you say that dream is false. Again, all bodies are made of Panchamahabhutas, therefore real. There's no rule. From where you have brought this rule as well? So therefore, in any cases, upadhis cannot be real, and therefore the differences in the jiva also cannot be real. You have seen here, read Ghatadhisthaniya tu Bhashya.
आदिस्थानीयाः तु देहादिसङ्घाताः स्वप्नदृश्यदेहादिवन् माया विकृतदेहादिवच्च आत्ममाया विसर्जिताः आत्मनः माया अविद्या तया प्रत्युपस्थापिता न परमार्थतः सन्ति इत्यर्थः.
This is what it says. In the illustration of Ghatakasha and Jiva, Dehadi Sanghatas. The embodiment of body, the embodiments are in the place of Ghata, etc. Ghatadhisthaniya. And these are made up of, these Deha, etc. like Swapna Drishya Dehadivat. We have seen this last time. They are like the body seen in the dream. Again, Maya Vikruta Dehadivat. Again, the bodies that are projected by a magician. So therefore, similarly, embodiments of jivas are projected by what? Atma Maya Visarjita. Your Atma Maya is not magic, avidya. Bhashya Karika makes it clear. So it is made up of, it is projected by ignorance of one's nature. So therefore, ignorance being false in nature. How do you say ignorance is false in nature? It gets destroyed. Maybe, see, generally the rule is anything that has got a adi, utpatti, beginning, has necessarily the anta, end. But avidya, ignorance, or Ishvara, Sarjana Shakti, Srishti Shakti, Maya, these are anadi, beginningless, and yet they are santa. They have got anta, antena sahavartate. They have got an end, and therefore they are not ever existent in nature. Being impermanent, certainly they are false in nature. So therefore, these Vedas and the Jiva Upadhis or on account of avidya, and therefore it is not real at all. The other two reasons. What is that? The degree of variation in terms of exaltedness. That was given as the second reason to say that upadhis are real. Third was, all are equal, made up of pancha mahabhutas. Therefore, upadhis are real. These two reasons are being now refuted. Continue. Yadi adhikam.
यदि आधिक्यम अधिक भावः तिर्यक् देहाद्यपेक्षया देवादिकार्यकरण संघातानां यदि वा सर्वेषां समता एव नैषाम् उपपत्तिः संभवः सद्भाव प्रतिपादकः हेतुः विद्यते
यदि आधिक्यम अधिक भावः तिर्यक् देहाद्यपेक्षया देवादि कार्यकरण संघातानां. If devadi karyakarana sanghatana, the embodiments of devadi, deva, devatas, indras, varuna, hiranyagarbha, all this, tanam, adhikyam, a more exaltedness. Adhikyam means, what is adhikyam? Adhikyam is from the this Karika. Its meaning is given. Adhika bhavaha. Adhika bhava means here utkrishtata. Utkrishtata, exaltedness. Exaltedness of some upadhis in comparison with the ordinary upadhis, say, with respect to whom? Tiryag dehadi apekshaya. Apekshaya, with respect to Tiryak dehadi. Embodiments of Tiryak means animals. Tiryak means horizontal. What is this horizontal? What is the vertical? Consider human embodiment. Head is on the top. Stomach in the middle. Genital below. Means the head rules over. It is supreme, at least supposed to be. In all cases, whether head is supreme, we don't know. Head is supposed to be supreme. Number two, stomach, then genital. In animals, all are in the same line. Head, stomach, and genital, horizontal, same line. That distinguishes man from the animal. You remember, Jnanam naranam adhiko visheshaha. Jnanena hinaha pashubhis samana. Remarked by none other than Bhagavan Vedavyasa. The prerogative of human being is jnana, not any jnana. Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana. Because the human embodiment is designed for this. Better we know this. Human embodiment is not for khao, pio, maja karo. Not for comforts and all that. That is possible in other embodiments also. In some cases, better way. However, glutton you may be, there is a limit up to what you can eat. But you are an elephant or a buffalo, you can eat more, which is not possible in the human embodiment. So like this, in certain bhoga, animal embodiments are better off than the human one. There's nothing to be boasted there at all. But jnanam naranam adhiko vishesh. This capacity to gain Atma Jnana because of the buddhi, the faculty of viveka, which is precious, so by which one can take to Atma Anatma inquiry, Atma Anatma Viveka, and discover one's Sarupa. So that is what Adikya. So this exaltedness, Adhika Bhava Utkrashtata, by that itself is not the criterion for the reality of the Upadhis. So Kadga Apekshaya Devadi Karyakara Sanghatana. So as the reason why the exalted embodiments are real, he is going to tell afterward there is no such rule. Other thing, that what he said, Yadiva Sarvesham Samata Eva, or equality in all embodiments, because they are made up of Panchamahuta. Exaltedness from the standpoint of a lay person, a little better informed person who knows that all upadhis are made of Panchamahuta, they are the same. That is the Yadiva Sarvesham. Sarvesham Karya Sanghatanam, the other is Samata eva, equality. That is what is the reason for reality of the embodiment. Says, Na esham upapattihi sambhava. Esham sanghatanam satyatva pratipadakatvena upapattihi na. These cannot be given as the upapatti reasoning to establish the reality of Karyakarana Sanghata. Karyakarana Sanghata means assembly of the body. So, Sambhava. Sambhava means cause here. Material is it well. What for cause for what? Sadbhava Pratipadakaha. Karyakarana Sanghatanam Sadbhava Pratipadakaha. A reason, or what is called as hetu. Afterwards they say hetu with it. This cannot be a reason or a hetu to prove the reality of the embodiment. Only because high and low distinctions are there, or they are equal, thereby you cannot establish the distinction between upadhis to be real. We do find so in the dream also. In dream, there may be an exalted person, ordinary people, etc. Or all are made of the one and the same thing. Thereby, we don't take the dream as real. Continue.
नास्ति हि अस्मात् तस्मात् अविद्याकृताः एव न परमार्थतः सन्ति इत्यर्थः.
Nasti hi yasma, add there sadbhava pratipadaka hetuhu. Nasti hi yasma adhyahara sadbhava pratipadaka hetu. Because there is no reason to establish, there is no cause to establish the degree of this exaltedness of the equality as the cause for reality of the upadhi. Tasma, therefore, thus, that is avidyakritaha eva sanghata. All sanghatas, assemblages of bodies, are what? Affected by avidya only. Na paramarthataha santi. These embodiments are not made in reality. They are false. Their appearance is false because they are product of false avidya. So that being the case, among the embodiments, the exaltedness or equality cannot be taken as the criterion for establishing the reality of the upadhi. And what you said, Because upadhis are real, therefore the Jiva Bheda is real, is not, it cannot be proved at all. Thus, the Advaya nature of Jiva, though Jivas appear to be different because of upadhis, in reality they are one and the same Atma. Just as part spaces do appear to be different from one another, yet space is one and the same. So likewise, it was proved that Jiva Veda is not real. They are nothing but one and the same Atma. Atma is Advitiya, Advaya in nature. This was established. How it was established? Based on Upapatti, taking recourse to reasoning. The same thing, that Atma is Advaya in nature. Jiva Vedas are not real, they are false in nature. This is proved based on Shruti Pramana. Earlier Yukti it was. Now based on Shruti Pramana, the same thing is going to be established now. Read Utpatyadi Varjitasya.
उत्पत्त्यादि वर्जितस्य अद्वयस्य आत्मतत्त्वस्य श्रुतिप्रामाणकत्व प्रदर्शनार्थं वाक्यानि उपन्यस्यन्ते.
Utpatyadi Varjitasya Advayasya Atmatatvasya. I think even if you don't know Sanskrit, this should make some sense to you. I believe so. Only you should know how to read it. You should have the proper punctuations. Because the words being Sanskrit, they have got some meaning that we can derive from them. See, Utpatyadi Varjitasya. Varjita, you know, divide off, excluded. What? Utpatti Adi. Utpatti, you know, Janma, birth, Adi, etc. So, of the entity which is Varjita, free from, excluded from, birth, etc. What is etc.? Growth, decay, disease, death. Shadvikaras. 6 changes. Asti jayate or jayate asti. Vardhate, viparnate, apakshayate, vinashyate. Of what? These 6 vikaras. Advayasya atma tattvasya. This also you can know. You know something, Advaya, Atma Tattva, of non-dual Atma Tattvasya. Shruti Pramanakatva Pradarsanartham. Pradarsanartham, to show as what? Shruti Pramanakatvam. This is something as shown by Shruti Pramana. Shruti Pramanatva Pradarsanartham. Shruti Pramana, Shruti Pramanakatva Pradarsanartham. It is not at variance with the Shruti, Vedas. Upanishad reveal this. Pradarsanartham. Vakyani upanyasyanti. Vakyani. But what Vakyani? Shruti Vakyani. Statements of Shruti are what? Upanyasyanti, are being explained. In short, what was proved based on Yukti, that Jiva Vedas are not real, same thing is established based on Shruti Pramana. Take the Karika, read 11.
प्रसादयो हि ये कोशाः व्याख्यातास्तत् तैत्तिरीयके तेषामात्मा परो जीवः खं यथा सम्प्रकाशितः।
रसादयः हि ये कोशाः तैत्तिरीयके व्याख्याताः। तैत्तिरीयके व्याख्याताः। तेषाम आत्मा जीवः परः। तेषाम आत्मा जीवः परः। मेक अध्याहार एड सह अस्माभिः। अध्याहार सह अस्माभिः यथा खम एड तथा संप्रकाशितः। संप्रकाशित रसादयः ये हि कोश। What is rasa? Anna rasa. ओषधीभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः स वा एष पुरुषोऽन्नरसमयः। Brahmandavalli, second chapter, Taittiriya Brahmandavalli, first one. Of course, that's it. Tasmadva etasmad atmana akashamata, it continues. And finally it comes, Oshadibhyonam, from Oshadhi, from the vegetation. Annam, food. Annat Purushaha, from food, this embodiment, or body. Born of food assimilated by the parents. So, Purusha. Savaesha Purusho Narasamaya. This Purusha, this body, physical body, is Vikara of Anna Rasa. Of course, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. Then there is no further Maya. It ends with Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. Reality of Annamaya is what? Pranamaya. Means Pranamaya, Annamaya depends on Pranamaya Kosha. So, secondarily, it can be taken as I. Generally, lay people take the Deha body, Annarasamaya Kosha as the I. But more durable than that is the Pranamaya Kosha. It is taken as I. More durable than the Pranamaya Kosha is Manomaya Kosha. It is taken as I. By mistake only. Then that Vijnanamaya Kosha. More durable. I. Anandamaya Kosha. More durable. I. And what is the basis of Anandamaya Kosha? Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. The base is that Pakshi Kalpana there. Let us not enter into that now, but you are supposed to revise those who have studied Taittiriya Upanishad. So that is a, because all of a sudden, we who are so much habituated to take the body, prana, mana, buddhi, ajnana as I, suddenly can't jump and take the Chaitanya as I. It becomes difficult. So the seeker is led step by step in terms of more durable relative atmas. And thereby the I-ness, the erroneous notion of me being the earlier koshas is discarded. Finally, even Andamaya kosha is discarded as I, its basis Chaitanya Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. Pucha tail as the basis. That is what Atma is told there. So therefore, Rasadayaha hi ye koshaha. Whatever sheaths, 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 plural, sheath. Because just like sheath, scabbard, the sword is kept in the sheath. The sheath covers the sword, but the sword is independent, unconnected to the sheath. It is not visible also. Like that, at level of each of these sheaths, universally the mistake of taking them to be I is done. Therefore, they are called relative Atmas, etc. And Brahma Pucham Pratishtha, the Chaitanya, the final basis as Paramatma. This is how it is taken. See, ye kosha, these koshas from Annamaya to Annamaya kosha, Taitiriya ke vyakhyata, they are what? Explained in Taitiriya Upanishad. So what? Tesham Atma Jivaha Paraha. Tesham Atma. Their Atma, to begin with, the Jiva, the relative entity, the so-called Samsari entity, Atma, is what? Paraha, Paramatma, Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. This is what? Saha, that Paramatma, Asmabhihi, by us. Who are these us? By us. Who are these? Acharyaihi, by Acharya. Who are these Acharyas? Gaudapadacharyahi, by Gaudapadacharya. Asmabhihi says what? Yata kham tatha samprakashita. Is that jiva to be like kham, like akasha, unconnected to the koshas. This is asmabhihi, means Gaudapadacharyahi. Samprakashita, very well shown. Where we have to scratch our head. Karika 3. Atma Akashavat. Page 129-30. Atma Hyakashavat Jivaihi Ghatakashairivoditaha Ghatadivaccha Sangataihi Jatau Etan Nidarshanam. So that is Jatau, in the Utpatti, the birth of Jiva. This birth of Ghatakasha is an illustration. Ghatakasha is not connected to the features of Ghata, etc. So also Jiva as Akasha is what? Unconnected to Upadhis, and it is real in nature. So that is in, though Ghatakasha appears to be there, it is not the case with the Mahakasha. And in the place of Mahakasha, Atma is there. Atma is not born like Mahakasha is not born. Though Upaditaha Ghatakasha appears to be born, so also Upaditaha Jiva also appears to be born. Not really born even then, but appears to be born for Vyavahara. So that you can celebrate birthdays. Sometimes this also becomes a fad. I was told by the mother, she was a student, her daughter herself is a mother, and her birthday was there. She wants other to wish her on the birthday. So she told the maid servant, look, tomorrow is my birthday. You have to wish me happy birthday. Asking the maid servant to wish her happy birthday next day. See how much expectation you think. Someone said, you should celebrate the birthdays when your children accomplish great things, not earlier. You celebrate birthday and in life they become scoundrels. That what is the use of that birthday celebration? When they really become great, yes, should what? Be proud of that, and you should celebrate the birthdays. This is all modern trend. It is. Older days in villages, who used to remember the birth date first? Leave alone this birthday celebration. But trend, what is it? And also there's always fueling in the mass media. New ways of celebrating. This is all marketing. But these bakras don't know it is market. They fall for it. On many days they celebrate this day, that day, because they want to sell their goods. So anyway. So here, so that is what? That Jiva is in reality who? Atma only, Advaya Atma. This was revealed in the Karika 3 by Gaudapada. Bhashya, read Rasadayaha.
रसादयः अन्नरसमयः प्राणमयः इत्येवमादयः कोशाः इव कोशाः अस्य आदेः इव उत्तरोत्तरस्यापेक्षया बहिर्भावात् पूर्वपूर्वस्य व्याख्याताः विस्पष्टम् आख्याताः तैत्तिरीयके तैत्तिरीयकशाखोपनिषद् ब्रह्मवल्यां तेषां कोशानामात्मा येन आत्मना पञ्चापि कोशाः आत्मवन्तः अंतरतमेन
Rasadayaha Annarasamaya. Rasadaya was told. What is Rasadaya? Is it rasa, sambar, chutney? Huh? All this? What is the rasa? Annarasamaya, etc. Annarasamaya, Pranarasamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. That is what is told here. Annarasamaya, Pranamaya, iti evam adaya, etc. What is etc.? Other three not mentioned. What are not mentioned? Vidya, that is Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, not mentioned, is indicated by Adi, etc. So these Koshaha, Koshaha, Iva Koshaha. Don't think that there is real Koshas. Don't draw a diagram here. This is Annamaya Kosha, outermost circle, inside Pranamaya Kosha. Don't such figuring is not there at all. Kosha, Iva Kosha. As those sheets, just as a sheet conceals the sword within, at this 5 loci, universally Atma gets concealed and that kosha is mistaken as I. It's not a mistake of one or two. It's a universal mistake. So therefore, as though the sheath, they concealed our true nature, Chaitanya Atma, at these 5 points. Kosha. How an illustration is given. See here, asyade, no, you have to know the sandhi breaking. Asi adehe iva. Asi here is khadga. Khadga is sword. Ade, such thing. For example, or in a iron safe, precious diamonds are kept. The iron safe is a covering. Kosha, inside is what? Precious diamonds are there. So like that, asyadehe, iva, like that, uttarotarasya apekshaya. Apekshaya, from the standpoint of uttarotara, each and every subsequent one kosha. Bahirbhava, being external, uttarotarasya apekshaya, purva purvasya bahirbhava. You want to take the anvaya like this? Uttarotarasya apekshaya purva purvasya bahirbhava asyadehe koshaha eva koshaha vyakhyataha. Vyakhyataha. Explained in Taittiriya. What is that? Uttarotarasya apekshaya. From the starting from now, Anandamaya kosha. Anandamaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Annamaya kosha. So Uttarottara, subsequent one, see, being what? Purva Purvasya Bahirbhava, being exterior to the earlier one, the subtle one. So what is that? Asi Adehe, as in the case of sword, etc., the covering that, the scabbard. So Adehe, Koshaha eva kosha, as though covering. Truly not so. Atma cannot be covered by anything, it is all pervasive. Just as space cannot be covered by anything, everything gets accommodated in the space. Though we say part covers the space, we may say for vyavahara. So that is kosha vyakhyata. Already clearly explained in where in the Upanishad. What is vyakhyata? Vispashtam akhyata. Very clearly elaborated and explained. Where Taitiriyake. What is meant by Taitiriyake? Taitiriyaka Shakhopanishad Valyam. The Valli section, second Valli, Brahmanda Valli of Taittiriya Upanishad belonging to Taittiriya Shakha. Valyam. And their Atma, the basis, Tesham Koshana, of those 5 sheets, Atma, with that Atma, Yena, Anvaya, Antaratamena, Atmana, Panchapi Koshaha, Atmavantaha, Syuhu, Atmavantaha. Yena, by which Atma? And where is it? Antaratamena, most interior. To begin with, Anandamaya Kosha is the most interior, Annamaya Kosha is the most exterior. in between the other form. But more interior than Annamaya Kosha is its basis. Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. That Brahma is the most interior, beyond which there is nothing. That is the basis, Adhisthana, for entire creation. So, Antartapena, that Brahmana, which is the Pucha, described the Taittiriya Upanishad. Pucha means tail, in the center, the basis. For bird, tail is important. So, there are Antartamena, Atmana, Pancha Api Kosha. All five sheets are what? Atmavantaha. Atmavantaha means they gain the existence. If Brahma Pucham Pratishtha, the basis Brahma is not there, Anandamaya Kosha cannot exist. Vijnanamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Annarasamaya Kosha cannot exist at all. That is there, and that existence is borrowed by all this and taken as I. Atmavantaha, Atmavanta become, that is, they gain the existence. And that Atma appears a Jiva of everyone. Why so? Also the reason is given. Continue.
सः हि सर्वेषां जीवनिमित्तत्वात् जीवः जीवननिमित्तत्वात् जीवः
Sahahi. Who is the Saha? Atma. With Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. Because of which all the rest of the koshas gain the existence. The existence depends on this. Just as I say, 42-storied building. What is the final basis? Mother Earth. 42-story rests on 41. 41 rests on 40. Like that comes to the first ground, that is Earth. This, you must be knowing this. Barrister Jinnah, legal brain, no? He was in New York. And the rule was that for every floor, this much height is allowed. And beyond that, the next one can construct his floor. He made a big issue out of it. Let us say the floor height must be 15 feet, let us say. After 15, 16 onwards, others can construct his floors. He did it, the height of his floor as 14 feet. Somewhat, I don't take literally the feet, etc. Somewhat like little less than what was allowed. And didn't allow others to construct a floor on that. Big legal battle was there. Why? He can go beyond after 15 only. And he has stopped at 14. In between, Trishanku Swarga. So, this is all legal, okay. But higher floor rests on the lower floor. Up to the ground. Ground is what? Mother Earth. Like that. The Brahma Pucham Pratishtha Atma, on its base is the Anandamaya. On Anandamaya, Vijnanamaya. On Vijnanamaya, Manomaya. On Manomaya, Pranamaya. on which Annarasamaya. So they are in series connected. So therefore, Sahahi, that Atma, which Atma? Brahma Pucham Pratishtha, he Sarvesham, of all living beings, Jivana Nimittatva, is the Nimitta, the cause, the basis of their life. Therefore, it is called as what? Jiva. So we get a definition of Jiva now. Jivana Nimittatva Jiva. Being the Nimitta, cause, the basis of the life, therefore Jiva. Can you not verify it? You may be emperor of emperors, all riches, everything at your command. Empire is has got full and prosperity. All are kind enough. No one hates anyone. Harmony among all the kingdoms. True. But what is the basis there? Finally, it is what? The Chaitanya. So mere exalted state of a upadhi by itself is nothing, because it is inert in nature. So it is that Chaitanya which enlivens it, which gives it existence, which gives the knowledge aspect, which gives the happiness aspect, that makes life. So therefore, Jivana Nimittatva Jiva. The question is, who is this great guy, Atma, who makes all the koshas meaningful, worthy of all jivas, worthy of living? Question arises. Continue. Kosau.
कोसौ इति आह.
Kahasau iti ah. Who is this Atma? Because called Jiva. Jiva Nimittatva. Or you can say, who is the Jiva? Who is Jivana Nimitta for all? Who is this Jiva? Because of which all are alive. Of course. Jivana Nimittatva Jivada. Other definition of Jiva is Jiv Prana Dharane. Prana Dharanatva Jiva. Who wields the prana? Because without prana, embodiment cannot function. Therefore, also it is called a Jiva. Jiva. Viewing it from different standpoints. Question is, who is this Jiva? So important. Kahaso. Says, answer, continue.
परः एव आत्मा यः पूर्वं सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म इति प्रकृतः.
Say the Jiva, who is a Paraha Atma eva, most exalted Atma only. Why Paraha most exalted? Because Chota Atmas are there, mistaken Atmas are there. Who are those? Annarasamaya. Body, physical body is taken as I. Pranamaya, prana is taken as I. Manomaya, mind taken as I. Vijnanamaya, intellect taken as I. Anandamaya, causal body taken as I. Chota Atmas. In relation to them, Paraha, exalted, Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. So therefore, Parahaya Atma. That how is he exalted? Yaha who was described earlier. Yaha, that Paramatma was just where Purvam, earlier in Taittiriya Upanishad. Taittiriya Upanishad, where in the beginning of Brahmananda Valli, how was it described that Paramatma? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma iti Prakruta. Was begun means was described like this. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yo Veda Vinihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman So Shrute Sarvan Kaman Saha Brahmana Vipashiteti Tasmadva Etasmadatmana Akasha Sambhutaha Akashadvayu Vayoragni Agnirapa Adhya Prithvi Prithivya Oshadaya Oshadibhyonnam Annat Purushaha Soyamatma Annarasamaya Purvam. In the beginning of this mantra, Taittiriya, second chapter, first section, Anuvak. So, Satya, how described how Satyam, Avitatham, never subject to change. Jnanam, Jnapti Sarupa, not knowledge of an entity with the features of that. No. The basic knowledge principle. Anantam. Anantam is Ananda. Desha, Kala, Vastu, Parichinna, Rahitam. Free from limitations of space, time, and object. Mahan, Ananta, limitless. Bhuma. Bhuma only Sukham, Alpe Sukham Nasti. In anything limited, Sakara, no. It is a source of sorrow. Keep this word. Sakaro Naima Bhagavan. Sakara is a source of sorrow. Anything that is with the form cannot be the final Bhagavad Tattva at all. For Upasana, etc., it is given with Sakara, Shastra only gives. But it only that is intermediary means, not the final truth. Like that, any Sakara, know for certain the source of sorrow. I'll give a homework for you. Think of it. Anything with the form bound to breed sorrow. Only the formless can be free from sorrows. Only the entity that is upadhi-less can be free from sorrow. And such entity can be only one and the one same Chaitanya Tattva, Chit Tattva. Challenge to science to point out any other entity which is free from sorrow. You should know this. Present day, people think that science is the final word. They have not investigated properly. Science has its own limitations. Where it ends, Vedas start. There are the two different realms. So here Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. This is how it was beginning, it was explained. Same Brahma here appears as Atma Jiva. Jiva Brahma Aikya. Identity between Jiva and Brahma. For practical purpose, like Ghatakasha, Jiva appears to be some with samsara, but it is not the final truth. We'll see that.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ।